Alright, it's time for another week. ZTGD Radio. This is episode 763 for September 11th, 2023. And on the show this week, we got Terrence.
What up, y'all?
And we got the Wombat.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Good.
And that's it. Everybody else was like, fuck it, I ain't coming.
Yep.
But anyway, let's just kick it right off. Talk about some video games. There's been a lot of crazy shit going on, and it's not gonna stop. It's gonna continue to be buck wild.
Can't stop.
Won't stop.
Stop. Bad boy. I get Diddy, man. Jesus.
Oh shit! All right, so Terrence, why don't you kick us off?
Of course, he says me as I'm over here coughing. Okay. Man, you know what? Some of the stuff I can't talk about. So I've played some more Lies of P, but you'll have to wait to hear about that. Some more Gunbrella, which I'm going to write the review up for that because I think that comes out this week. Yeah. So you'll be able to read about that, and I'll talk about it next show. The Crew Motorfest, but that doesn't drop till Monday. So
Yeah, you can't even
that.
play it. Like they sent us a code on Friday, and they were like, "Well, you can't play it till Monday." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
what?
it lets you
servers.
install it.
Yeah, it's like online. It's always online. So
Yep, it's one of those. So you can't do nothing until they hit the button. So like it's all installed and ready to go, but whatever. So what can I talk about? Starfield. So I've been playing some more Starfield, and I'm glad you're here, Ryan, because you my space nigga, and I appreciate
That's right.
you for that. So okay. I don't feel like this game is a 4, like some of the idiots are saying online.
Agreed.
I kind of feel like a 7.5 is fair. Like the space stuff is real. Like I'm really starting to miss it. Like
Yeah, it's
the game would
weak.
be. Go ahead. Yeah, it would be so much better if it had that space stuff in there. Like it's the missing link.
Yeah, and I think I was thinking about this earlier, and like, I talked about it last week that one of the things. So I, as have been mentioned on the show a million times, love Bethesda's games. I've spent more time in their games than probably any other series that's ever existed. But one of the things I love the most about them is the exploration. And that's just not really here, at least not in the same way.
Yeah.
And so like, I posted it in the Discord earlier, but the new sort of narrative for this game from supporters seems to be, and I say supporters like I'm a detractor. I'm not a detractor. I'm still enjoying the game. But the new narrative seems to be, well, those barren planets are only there to make the universe feel bigger, and if you're going down to them and exploring them, that's on you for playing the game wrong. And if you're exploring them expecting there to be anything there, that's on you for playing the game wrong. And it's like, well, not really.
you're playing it right. Is it Dennis Dyack write that tweet? What?
Yeah. And it's funny because it feels like it almost feels like those are now the talking points, because I've seen it 5 or 6 times already on Twitter today. This notion that like, well, you should just think of all those barren planets as like the planets in Mass Effect that you could just scan from orbit to get resources from and couldn't actually visit. They just give you the chance to visit them if you want to, but there's nothing down there. And it's like, yes, that's correct. But at the same time, that was where they said all the exploration was.
Yep.
And so the feedback seems to be, you're playing the game wrong if you're trying to do a whole bunch of exploration. You should just be following the quests and, fast traveling planet to planet following quests. And it's like, okay, I can appreciate that, but that's not what I play Bethesda games for. Like that's very much more of a BioWare thing.
Yeah.
At least over their last several games, to sort of move place to place, accomplishing quests, following quests. I play Bethesda games because I enjoy, stepping off the dock in Satanin and Morrowind and just walking in a direction. And if you walk in that direction for long enough, you're going to find a million different things along the way, right? Same thing in Skyrim, right? You start in Skyrim, they tell you to go to Whiterun. You start walking that direction. You can't fast travel there yet, obviously, because you haven't visited. And you run into like 7 different cool things along the way. That's not really here. Like there's a bunch of stuff to do in the cities. Like there's a bunch of little side quests and stuff.
Yeah.
But so far, it feels to me, and I know I haven't, it feels weird to say I haven't played enough of it when I'm like 30 hours in. But I know there's some stuff that I'm missing, but it feels so far to me like there's about a Skyrim level of content here spread out across a whole lot more space.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
I was
100%
going to
on
say
board
something
with
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, so you end up like I was on Tau Ceti 8b, I think is the moon that I was on,
Okay.
which is part of the main quest. But
I
there's
think
like
close to where I was, or where I am actually.
it's very much, and I know people are going to hate me for this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's very much a No Man's Sky planet where it's
No.
like greens and pinks and stuff, and some there's fauna and flora walking around, or not. The flora is not walking around, but
Wow, there
there's
should
different
be.
creatures walking around, and there's different plants to scan. And I'm like, oh, cool, this is what I was looking for. Just kind of a planet that I can wander around and see cool animals and scan them and find new plants and stuff. And then you get down to like the last animal that you need to find, and it's a huge pain in the ass.
Brother, tell me
Because
about
there's no great way. Now I know you can invest a lot of skill points into scanning, A, to make it so you have to scan less of each individual animal to unlock them as scanned, and B, to unlock like more information. But
you get
as
range
it
too.
sits,
If you level
yeah,
it
in
up.
your range, but as it sits right now, there is no way I can find to know where this last animal I'm looking for is, other than doing what everybody keeps telling me I'm not supposed to do, and that's just wandering around for 400, 500, 600 meters in a direction.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I feel you in that. I dig the quest lines that I've played through. Those have been good.
Mm-hmm.
And I do still think the combat is mostly good. It's starting to show some seams for me, depending on the enemies I'm fighting. Like when I'm not fighting human enemies, it's starting to show some seams. But it's not what I had kind of hoped for coming in, and maybe that's on me for having the wrong expectations. But as somebody who's, it's not an exaggeration to say, has 1,000 hours at least in Bethesda games over my life. It's not really what I was looking for, even though I'm enjoying it. So I think for me, yeah, I think I'm probably a little bit higher on the scale. It's probably an 8 for me, 8.5, just because of some of the stuff that I've been able to do. But I mean, I've never played a Bethesda game that I didn't think was a 10 for me personally. So it's disappointing in that regard. And it is absolutely fair to give it a 7 or a 7.5.
Yeah, it's and it is good. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
saying it's a 7, 7.5, and I'm enjoying the game. It just I'm starting to see those, as you said, seams and stuff. Like I was telling Kim before the show, like with the combat and the guns, like they just feel kind of off. Like I found a couple of guns that I like, but I can't ever find ammo for it. Like that was it the Urban Eagle pistol?
Yep. Yep.
I I've yet to find a shop that sells it. The only time I find ammo for that gun is like when you're like cleaning up and searching after a gunfight. Like it's like on a shelf or in a box or something like that. I'm like, oh sweet. But like I feel like I'm always searching for ammo for my good guns. And then the space thing, I've not been able to successfully pirate a ship. Like I said, I had that adventure where I thought I was going to be able the first time, but they like the ship had landed on the planet, and there were like guys out, and I shot a couple of them, and I ran up in there, and I'm like, okay, well, I got to get into the thing, and like the little hatch starts to close because the pilot's taking off, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Once we get to space, I'm gonna jack these niggas.
Right.
Well, the door shuts, and I start like, shaking because the ship is lifting off. And then next thing I know, the ship disappears, and I'm falling back to the ground. And I'm like, oh shit! So I have to use my jetpack so I don't slam into the ground. So I have yet to be able to pirate a ship. I've only been in combat that I've successfully won. Let me say, because the first time I was in the ship combat, I was in a ship that was too low, and I should have just ran and stopped or paid them off. So
Right.
I got killed a bunch of times. So the first successful combat was just today. Ship combat was the first time I was able to get into a fight, and I've randomly like jumped into different systems and stuff because that's the stuff I'm looking for. I'm trying to be a space pirate. Like I'm trying to jack somebody's ship. I'm trying to
Yeah.
like I don't know. I love space. I always have. I love Star Trek. I love all that stuff. Like I want nothing more than to be the captain of an enterprise. Like that's what I want to do. Like if they put that program out there, I'm gonna go sign up. Like I don't even give a fuck. Like I would love to go to space.
Yep.
And this game had so much promise, and I think like you had said, I think it was on me for conflating or hyping my expectations beyond what was actually there, and that's why I'm really disappointed. But like I was telling Kim before the show, like they done had me reinstall Star Citizen just so I can get my space stuff fixed because I want the landing, and that's really all you can do with Star Citizen for real because that game is a glorified alpha demo. But once you get like the takeoff and landings and getting into space and hyper jumping and going to a planet,
Yep.
all those systems actually work, and that's so much fun. That's what I wanted out of Starfield, but. It is what it is, but it's not a bad game. So.
No, definitely not. And I said that. Well, so first a couple tidbits. The first is that I appreciate and respect the fact that you can basically heal your ship with what is basically the ship version of a med pack, which is the ship part.
Yeah.
It fucking sucks that they take up cargo space. Because
oh my god, yes.
So many times I've come out of a really rough firefight. One of my enemies had ship parts, and I'm like, oh yes, thank God. And then I can't pick them up because my cargo hold's full, and it's like, fuck, don't do that with health recovery items.
Yep.
So secondly, I think the best way for me to kind of sum up my personal disappointment with the game is that. And I mentioned this as a positive a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Zelda. In that, so I'm rereading the Lord of the Rings books right now, and so I read The Hobbit, I read Fellowship, I read Two Towers. I'm probably halfway through Return of the King right now as we speak, and it's a reminder when you read those books how much of sort of all storytelling, right? Not just novel storytelling or fantasy storytelling or sci-fi storytelling. How much of all storytelling is about the journey, right? Because if you read the Lord of the Rings books, the thing that Tolkien nails in those books is the journey. It's not just the destination, right? It's all the things that happen on their journey to the destination. Hell, in The Hobbit, Bilbo says that he wants to call the book There and Back Again, right? Because that's what it's about. It's about the journey from one place to another, all the things that go into that. If you go through those books today and you make a note of every time the books talk about them setting up camp for the night, making or finding food, right? Trying to find a good place to take shelter out of a storm, right? That's what those books are. And the big sort of battles and all that stuff that you remember from those books are very small. And most of it is just the adventure that they're on. And Zelda nails that. Dragon's Dogma nails that. Skyrim nails that. Like the feeling of I need to go here and do this, and half the adventure is getting there. And maybe 20% of the adventure, if I want it to be, is getting back. And that's missing for me in Starfield, because so much of the getting there is in menus and in loading screens.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it's disappointing. It's more disappointing to me than I expected it to be. And I wonder personally how much of that is the fact that I'm reading these books and that I just come off Zelda. Because, a lot of the joy in Tears of the Kingdom is getting from one place to another, to the fact that unless I'm specifically traveling to a Skyview tower so that I can blast off out of it, I almost never use fast travel in Tears of the Kingdom. I ride my horse, or I make a little buggy and I drive there.
Same.
And in this game, it's like, not only is that not viable, it's not even really an option.
Yep.
So I think that's where a lot of my disappointment comes from. It doesn't come necessarily from the game, which is good, and it's definitely the most polished Bethesda game that they've ever made. It's from what is enjoyable to me about the adventure of a role-playing game. And it's kind of missing here.
Yeah, I feel you. Like, especially when you talk about the journey. In this, the journey is literally just the loading screen. So I mean, you don't have an opportunity to get seized upon by another ship who wants to rob you or something, right? None of that stuff is going to happen until you actually load on that planet. Like, there is no on the way while you're in hyperspace.
Yeah,
And
that's exactly it.
Yep. I 100% feel you, and I'm the same way. Like, it is definitely missing that type of thing. Because actually, when I was playing this morning, as I was using all the fast travel stuff, I was like, "Damn, it's wild." Ryan said he don't ever, like, he just likes to walk. I was like, "That's all this fucking game is fast travel stuff." Like, oh, I got to go to this planet to continue the quest, so I can't just walk through a field of mountains or whatever where something could happen. No, I'm going to load from here. Oh, I'm at the planet now. I got to land. Oh, now I'm landing. Like, it's so much. I don't know. It just, what you summed it up perfectly. It's just, there's no journey. The journey's not there. It's just all about the destination. Boom, here you go. All right, now do stuff.
Yeah,
So,
and so it's not. It's like they distilled all the stuff that I personally love about their games, and most of it didn't make its way in, which is just a little disappointing. I will say, though, that I think the actual quest lines themselves that I've done have been very good, and have
agreed.
had a lot of the stuff that I sort of expect from Bethesda. It's just that other piece that's really missing for me.
Mm, yep, I agree. And I think too, because I think we're gonna be playing differently now, but I know you were, or we're talking about going straight to the story.
I abandoned that idea. I'm just kind of doing what seems like fun at the time to me at this point.
Gotcha. So, because I was thinking that maybe some of my feeling of missing some of those interactions for the journey is because I'm like mainlining the story. The only kind of side mission I did was the Mantis side mission. If you've picked that up, that's
I
the
have
only
picked
one
it
that
up. I
I've
haven't done
since
it yet.
recently. Okay, it's pretty fun actually. And if you're low level, don't be afraid. You can still kind of do it. Just kind of use cover and stuff when you're fighting. But it's pretty fun. But that's the only one that I've done outside of the different main quests. And a lot of the main quests are go here, scan said artifact, come back, look at cutscene, go back, get this artifact. Like, that's a lot of the stuff, and you don't really run into a lot of enemies on some of the stuff outside of creatures on a planet. Like, it's just a very kind of chill. So I kind of wonder if maybe I'm missing some of the side stuff because I'm not doing the side quest, but I'll rectify it with my second playthrough. But again, I like the game. Like where you at? Like, I am enjoying it for sure. It's just missing some of that journey for me.
Yeah. the other thing that doesn't help it, I don't think, is the if you land on, say, a barren planet, even a non-barren planet, you might land and there might be 4 different points of interest that pop up, and there's rarely anything super interesting at them that I've found yet. There's every now and then something that's kind of interesting. I don't find combat just for the sake of combat to be an interesting reason to go someplace.
Gotcha.
So when I say interesting, I don't just mean I go to this abandoned tower and there's pirates there for me to kill. Like that's not all that interesting for me. It would be much more interesting if there were pirates along the way for me to kill. But the pain in the ass of it is it's literally just walking. Like
Yep.
you couldn't. Of course, there's no horse, right?
Nope.
But you could give me like a buggy or something.
Yes.
Even
A
Zelda and
grass bike?
Skyrim give you a horse so you can move a little bit faster while you're still sort of enjoying the journey, and it's it's what do you call it? It doesn't feel out of place, right? Because if you were in a fantasy world, you would probably ride a horse.
But you don't like the magical jetpack that goes like 2 feet?
Yeah,
Man.
the jetpack's kind of busted.
Yeah.
So I know it sounds a little contradictory that I want to be able to travel places faster without having fast travel, but there is a distinction.
No, it is. I don't
Yeah,
think
it
it sounds
grounds you.
crazy at all. I
It
think you're
grounds you.
right.
It
Yeah.
grounds you in the world of like actually
Yeah.
traveling from point A to point B. No, it makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
The glider was
and-
the best thing added to the new Zelda games. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. I'm with you, Terrence. I think it's a game that I really like, but that isn't really scratching the itch that I expected it to. And there are times when I'm playing it where I think, do I really like this as much as I think I do, or am I convincing myself to like it because of its pedigree?
That was me this morning.
I really didn't expect that out of
Yep.
the game. So
That's
Yep.
that's what the Xbox guys are doing. They're convincing themselves that it's a 10 out of 10.
yeah, and the other side of it is you got a lot of Sony fanboys that are convincing themselves it's the worst game that's ever been made, and it's definitely not that either. But it's certainly not. I would view, and again, game opinions are subjective, right? But I'll give a side eye, I guess, to people who give it a 4, but I also give a little bit of a side eye to people who give it a 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I feel it. Yep. Okay, and that concludes Starfield talk. That was a lot. I think me and Ryan both probably covered our Starfield play.
Yeah.
What else did I play? Well, this is out, so I can talk about it. I played some Blasphemous 2, which I'm playing for review. I know initially when I said I was playing it, it was that it was a roguelite, and I was going to hate it. It's more a Metroidvania than a roguelite. It definitely is a roguelite, but it leans more into the Metroidvania side of it, and it makes it that much more enjoyable. Only it's weird. I didn't play the first one, so this is the first one. The first one I played, and Kim was telling me about it. Like the first one, I guess the team is very religious. Like it's built on a lot of religious what's the word?
Imagery.
Symbols and imagery. Thank you. And a lot of the names of stuff is just crazy. Like I made a clip because I finished the first boss, and a lady floating on a hand with a bunch of angels around her, little baby angels around her head, came down to tell me that I have to go and kill.
Was
this
it the
list of
cherub
people.
from Messiah?
That every single time I see one of these cherubs, that's exactly what I think of. That game was so good, but every time I'm like, oh shit, it's the cherub from Messiah. Oh, possessing people and stuff. Oh man, what a fun game. Anyway, Yeah, so she tells you have to kill all these people, and they all have crazy names. And like, I had to clip it. Like, I'm gonna put it out there because I was like, "What the fuck is this game?" But combat and stuff is pretty solid. But like I said, it's like a Metroidvania, so it's side scroller. You know, rooms are blocked off because you got to go find something else to open this and that type of stuff. So I'll have a review for it soon. Played some more Texas Chainsaw. That's they fixed some stuff. That's a good game. The the Shredder's Revenge DLC. I don't know if y'all
How do you
have
feed
played
blood to
that yet.
Grandpa?
There it is. There's my boy. The Shredder's Revenge DLC is actually really good. It has a survival mode, which is also kind of like a roguelike, but I the other night played online with like I think like four other people. It actually is a lot of fun. Yeah, if you all die, that's it. You wipe and you have to start over. But the fact that you can revive each other and you kind of have infinite lives in that case, so like if you have multiple people, people can distract a boss or something while somebody else is getting somebody up was kind of nice because we finished the first, I guess it's just the first part, and it ended with a super shredder. He was beyond super shredder. Like he mutated like three times, but it was pretty cool. Um, so if you have that, you should check it out. I played with Karai. I haven't played with the bunny yet.
You
But
will
Karai was
never
pretty
remember
good.
that bunny's name.
I won't. I was when I
Usagi
said it.
Yojimbo.
There you go. Like I was going to say Yasago or Yasagi. That's it,
Yeah,
right? Yasagi
Usagi
Yojimbo.
Yojimbo.
Okay, Yojimbo. That's what the Jimbo part is what I always remember, but I never remember it in the right order. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty good. Played some AEW Fight Forever because I'm such a AEW fanboy now. Speaking
That's
of,
right.
when it right, yeah. See, and that's thanks to you. When
Yep.
is like, because I haven't found or seen anything like that. And I know you said that this was kind of going to be like their game, and they were just going to keep updating it. Like the acclaimed and stuff, like they're not in this. Are they actively
Yeah.
working on?
From what I understand, they are, but I mean, their DLC schedule's been really screwed up. Like they
Yeah,
were
it seems
supposed to have
weird.
released, I think, every bit of DLC by now, at
Oh
least of
shoot.
the initial wave that they announced, and they've only released the Keith Lee and Bunny pack,
Yeah,
I
that's
think.
what, and I still need to get that. And then, like I've noticed, and I think this is you said this too when you talked about the game that it was like made some years ago, but had
Yes.
like the latest stuff. Because like I've noticed, like people in the game look completely different from what they look like
Yes.
now. Like Keith Lee has like a goatee and shit, but he's like
Yeah.
clean shaven now. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, and Keith Lee's gone through a couple different changes over the last couple years. He had the dark hair, and then he went natural and let his hair just be gray, his hair and his beard be gray, and now he's back to black hair again, I think. So,
Nice.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, they finished character models on this game years ago, which is why Cody's still in the game, right? Even though he's been in WWE since
Yeah.
22, I think, maybe, yeah, 22. Um, so yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Um. I think that's it. I mean, oh well, no, I tried Age of Empires 4 on Xbox. I like the control scheme that they came up with. I expected it to be
It's the same
kind of
as
cut and
2,
paste.
right?
It actually is a little better than twos. So I expected it to be just a cut and paste and work similarly, but it actually is a little bit more advanced than two. And it might be because four does some stuff that two just doesn't. Or it had to do it like that, but I mean, it totally works. Like it was easy to play. I played a skirmish. Not quite ready to play versus people yet with it. But like making your command troops like for your hotkeys, like 1, 2, 3, whatever, like your little armies, it's super easy. Just pull triggers together, and you have I think 10 slots to make different groups. Like it's super dope. So if you have any interest in those RTSs and have an Xbox, definitely check it out because it's on Game Pass too. Um, shit, I think that's it. Last thing, last case of Benedict Fox. It got an upgrade or update where they claim to have fixed a bunch of stuff. So I loaded that up and played that for a minute. The combat felt better because I know that was my issue. It just was very off. It just felt off. It was a lot better from what I played. The jumps and stuff is still kind of floaty, but I do want to finish that game because I'm intrigued by the mystery and Cthulhu monster that's following this poor guy.
I saw
But that's it.
that got an update, and I was like, I really want to check this out because I love the aesthetic of that game. But
Yeah.
God, the combat was so not good.
Yep. Yeah, it's better. So yeah, you should install it and give it a see because it's still not 10 out of 10. Like it's not perfect, but it's way improved from what it was. Like I actually am gonna play it now.
Yeah,
Um.
I wanna
So yeah.
play it because there's so many of those games like they come out and you're like, all right, I'm gonna check this out, and then it's not great, and it's like, well, there's 47 other things out this week, so I'm just gonna throw that away.
Exactly. Yep. Then you just put it on the shelf. Like well, come back to it. That's yep.
Yeah, like
So yeah.
I reinstalled Like a Dragon Ishin, and I was like, I'm gonna play this, and I just didn't. I still haven't got to it yet. So,
I need to get that because I do want to play that.
all right, we'll move on to the Wombat.
All right, so we already talked about Starfield. I'm not going to spend any time on that. I did finish up the Water Temple in Tears of the Kingdom. If I can be allowed to have a criticism of the game that is
No.
currently my game of the year,
No,
without everybody thinking I hate it, like Breath of the Wild, it, like Breath of the Wild, suffers from LABS, which is lame ass boss syndrome.
Yep.
Like the Water Temple boss just sucks.
that's the one you got to clean, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
boss
yeah, I
sucks.
hated that one. I hated
and
that one.
Awful.
And quite honestly, the Goron boss kind of sucks too, but at least it's novel.
Did you do the Wind
Is that
Temple?
the Fire Temple one?
I did the Wind. The Wind Temple boss is excellent.
Yeah, that was the first
that's
one
the
I
best
did.
boss.
That was the first one I
Me
did.
too.
I was like, man, if this is setting the stage, hell yeah.
Right.
See,
No.
that's what I thought. I thought they were all gonna be like that because it was the first one. I was like, this was fucking awesome. All right.
And all the Water Temple boss does is illustrate how much of kind of a pain in the ass it is that in order to activate your powers, you have to go over to your companion and hit A.
Yeah, they should have mapped that to like hold a trigger and press a face
Yeah,
button.
like just give me the power. Like don't make me walk over to. And some people are saying that's the mechanic. You don't criticize it. But listen, it's a pain in the ass. I still love the game. It's still my game of the year. But that mechanic is a pain in the ass, and it makes this boss fight a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's better to build like a water thing that just shoots consistently. That's like the best way to do it, and that's not how
Right.
you're supposed to do it.
Right. And so so yeah, I'm not that boss sucked. But
Yes.
other than that, I still really love that game. And so I'll go back and finish that in spurts here and there. One thing I didn't mention when we talked about Starfield is that I did play it on cloud gaming, and it plays well with my Backbone controller on my iPhone. It plays pretty well.
Nice.
The text and everything is small and it's clear, just based on the UI that it's not meant to be played portably. But it's in terms of the actual gameplay, I didn't have any issues playing it on cloud. So the last thing that I've been playing is NBA 2K24 for review. And I'll say this, I'll have more to say about the game next week, not because of any sort of embargo, but because we got the game on Thursday afternoon. And I was gone from my house all day yesterday, and I had to work obviously on Friday, so I haven't had as much time to play it yet as I might have liked. But so I've only seen a couple actual reviews of this game out there so far. Most of what I'm seeing is user feedback, and I'm sure some of you that are listening have probably seen user feedback as well. Here's what I'll say based on my limited time with the game. I have not spent any time yet in my team, like the card bullshit that I don't ever play for anything other than review. I've not spent any time in any of the other like eras modes or any of that stuff. I'll make sure I spend some time in there before I review the game, but that's not what brings me to this game, and it's not what brings 90% of the people who play these. So where I've spent my time is my career. And so where do I want to start? Let me start with the actual gameplay. So they've changed the gameplay a little bit, and I can't remember the buzzword they use for it, but they've got pro play, maybe is what they call it. They've changed the animation system in the game to where instead of sort of a bunch of canned, created animations, they're building the animations in the game through what seems like AI training on actual NBA games, with the point of making the animations look a little bit more realistic. And I'll say I've noticed some of it. I certainly haven't noticed it in an outsized way compared to last year's game. And it's important to note that I'm relatively fresh off of last year's game. I was still playing it as of 3 months ago or so. So I haven't noticed a huge difference in the animation, but I definitely noticed some things that I wouldn't have seen in last year's game. The gameplay itself is a little bit weird, and it's weird in that one of their stated goals this year was to make it easier to score, and they have definitely done that. Not only through the way your player navigates through defense, but also the way the shot meter works. So the way the shot meter works now is it actually so for those of you who have or haven't played the game or haven't played it in a while, the way the shot meter works is there's a green section at the very end that is basically excellent release. And if you release the shot in that green area, it's going to go in basically every time, almost every time, if not every time. And so the way it's normally worked is that green area can be bigger or smaller depending on what your attribute stats are for the kind of shot that you're trying to take. There's 4 different basic, 5 different kind of shots, but one of them doesn't have a meter. So there's a layup, right? There's a close shot, a mid-range shot, and a 3-point shot. And so the green area of your meter traditionally has been bigger or smaller depending on your stats and attributes associated with that type of shot. Same thing here, but what also happens here is the green part of the meter dynamically expands and contracts depending on what's happening around you. So if you're trying to take the shot in coverage, the green part of the meter will actually expand or contract while you're shooting, depending on whether you're open or if a defender is closing in on you or somebody jumps up and puts their hand in your face. The green part actually expands and contracts while you're shooting. And it's especially noticeable on layups where you can drive in for a layup and almost the whole meter is green. And then as somebody closes in on you, or if somebody jumps up to contest your shot, the meter will contract back. Or if you successfully, get underneath somebody, it expands back. And so it, generally speaking, makes it easier to have an excellent release. In practice, for me, it makes it so I keep fucking up the timing on my shots because I'm too used to looking at the meter and trying to release when it's green and not used to looking at the actual shot animation, which is what I should be doing. Now, that's a me problem, but I imagine there's a lot of people that play the game like me, and so just be aware that's going to fuck you up for a little bit until you get used to it, if you're the type of person that looks at the meter when you're shooting and doesn't look at the animation. I say it's weird because it's definitely easier to score. So I'm in the process of playing as we speak here, and the first half isn't even over. There's 2 minutes and 48 seconds left in the first half, and I've already scored 28. I'm 28, 4-4 right now, points, rebounds, and assists. So I'm on pace for a triple double in my second professional game And I'm going to probably score 50 plus points in this game, which is absurd. But it has the practical application of making your attributes less important, at least on the scoring side, which is good because this game is 100% back on its bullshit as it relates pay-to-win shit. It's worse than it's ever been. You start out as a 60 again, and I mentioned last year how much cognitive dissonance there was with, the game, you getting drafted, I think 16th or 17th overall, right ahead of the guy that everybody from your team wanted. All the fans from your team wanted the team to draft. And so the story in last year's game was basically proving to the city that they made the right decision drafting you ahead of the guy that was your rival. And in this year's game, the story is you're the best prospect that's come along in the NBA's history since LeBron James. And both your grandfather and your father played in the NBA. And your character still starts out with 60s, like as a 60 overall player, which is just absurd. No player would ever be considered the best prospect that's come along since LeBron James, and then you lay out all their attributes and they're a 60 overall. It's just absurd. They do that in the name of giving you some sense of progression, but it being easier to score makes the progression less important, and the progression takes fucking forever. So I tried, Ken, to do what you and I talked about on Discord the other day, but the game stops you. I thought maybe I could just go into attributes, max out all the attributes, and see what it would cost me in VC to do that. But it stops you once you get to what looks like probably 100,000 more VC than what you currently have.
Jesus Christ.
So I currently have 100,000 VC because I was given through review the Mamba edition, which comes with 100,000 VC. At 200,000 VC, it would have taken my character to an 85 overall. So I'm guessing that it would probably cost you between 4 and 450 VC to max out your character. That's $100. On average, I'm earning about 1,000 VC a game. I play on Pro, which is normal difficulty, and I play full quarters, so 12-minute quarters. I don't play 5-minute quarters. There's just not enough time to do everything in 5-minute quarters, although I'll be honest with you, the game feels balanced for 5-minute quarters, from a scoring standpoint at least. So at 12-minute quarters, that's 48 minutes for a full game. You don't play the full game, but with cutscenes and halftime and all that stuff, it takes about that, even if you don't play every minute. So that's about 300 hours to grind max character in this game. About 400 games. Now, all of that's rough math. Somebody, I'm sure, will do the real math, but in rough math speaking, it's about 300 hours or about 400 games to max out your My Player if you don't want to spend a dime on virtual currency.
That's a lot of nuts.
And assuming you don't do quests and stuff, because the quests are a little different this year. The story is way more bare bones so far than last year's. Way more. I'm sure there'll be some. This is one of those things that doesn't bother me in the least, but I'm sure there will be some commentary online about the fact that your father in the game is of questionable racial background because they don't know what you're going to make your character. It's been that way in all of the games where they've featured family members. So that, I mean, if they're going to put family members in the game, that's basically what they're going to do every time. So if you come into it expecting your father's race to match your own exactly, it's not going to happen. So if you're the type of person that matters to, number one, seek help. Number two, be prepared to rant on Twitter about it, I guess, for 20 minutes. But so your father is kind of he acts in sort of a mentor role in the story because he played in the NBA, so he's a big part of the story. Your grandfather, who played in the NBA, is dead, but they reference him several times early on here. But you start with a lot of the stuff that took almost a full season to earn in the last game. So, like, you start as a starter on the team. You start with the most minutes on the team. You start with a shoe contract. You start with a selection of badges, which I should mention the badges and the perks in this game. The badges behave mostly the same, but they are way more confusing. So last year's game, you had badges that were split up depending on different skills. So you had shooting badges, you had playmaking badges, you had I can't remember what they call it, finishing badges, and you had defense badges. And in this game, you've got mostly the same badges, but they're divided into tiers instead of being divided by what skill they're associated with. And you have to have, just like last year, you have to have a certain attribute level to be able to equip certain badges. Now, though, it's tiered. So you have to have, instead of just having to have a certain number of attributes to, get the gold version of a badge instead of the bronze version, now you have to have a certain number of attributes to unlock the badge itself. And the silver, gold, platinum tier levels happen by using the badges when you play. So if you don't maintain them, they can actually lose status. And you have a mechanic where you can you have, I think, 3 or 4 different badges that you can lock in as never being below a certain tier, but it's just a little more convoluted than it was last year. The perks, I think they called them perks last year. They're basically the in-game temporary bonuses that you unlock by accomplishing certain things. So like in last year's game, for example, it might be score 10 points unassisted. And if you did that in the game, you would unlock a temporary perk that might boost your and your teammates' skills for a certain number of possessions. You've got those again this year. They are much more important, and they give you much stronger bonuses. So, like, I've got they call them GOAT skills. Everything's a GOAT in this game because the whole goal here is for your player to be the greatest of all time. So you've got these GOAT skills. I've got one now that is get good ball movement 3 times. You're almost always going to unlock that in the first quarter, and you can't use it again for the rest of the game. So it gives you a temporary boost, and it specifically tells you what attributes it's going to increase and what it's going to increase them to, and the increases are significant. So it does kind of suck, though, because it's so easy to unlock that you're almost always going to unlock it in the first quarter, and then you've burned it for the rest of the game, and the first quarter is not really when you necessarily need it. One more thing I'll say, because I've been going on for a while here. One more thing I'll say is that the biggest and best change that they made is that in last year's game, so you have these things called takeovers that you basically earn as you play the game well. In last year's game, it was unavoidable that if you play the game well, you will unlock the team takeover. And in my career last year, that meant you were controlling the entire team, which fucking sucks and is not why I play my career. I play my career so I can control one player on the court, not every player. This year still has team takeover, but there's an option now where you can set it to where when you get a team takeover and all the rest of your teammates' stats get boosted, you still only control your player, and that's on by default. So that's a huge change in the positive for me. But I'm more, probably less in volume, but more specifics to talk about next week. But so far, it's behind last year's game to me. We'll see if that changes with more playtime over the next week or so.
All right. That's a lot of basketball.
It's a lot of basketball.
All right. Anything else going on?
No, that's really it. I haven't played anything other than those three.
All right. Well, I can wrap this up with some video games, I suppose. What do we got here? So I'll start off with the indie stuff just to run through it really quickly. Green Soldiers Heroes is basically you move to a piece of cover, aim a reticle, shoot a dude. Not very good. Funtasia is like a trial style game where you're playing like a zombie race car. Also not the greatest thing I've ever played. Escape from Terror City is a third person like PS1 style graphics. Couldn't invert the aim, so didn't enjoy that all that much. Foxes Need to Eat is you basically just it's like a puzzle game where you just get the fox to an apple and that's it.
Well, they do need to eat. That's true.
They do need to eat. The mini pieces of Mr. Coup is probably the most Anthony game I've played in a long time. It's a point and click adventure game with like this setting of like you're like in a play and you just got to point and click and figure out the puzzles and stuff, but it's just got this really cool animation to it. Very very like what's the word I'm looking for, like over animated cartoon. Like it's really really cool art style. And I actually really, really enjoyed it, even though I don't really care for point-and-click games. And then I played the Cuphead ripoff, which is Enchanted Portals.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that came out.
Yeah, so that game is a lot of, we look like Cuphead, but we miss the point of Cuphead.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not like overly challenging. It's actually pretty straightforward. The hook in this one is that you've got to switch between different types of attacks. The enemies are color coded. Like you'll have a blue enemy or a red enemy or something, and you've got to switch to the attack that will do damage to them. The problem comes in when the switching between the colors is actually done via the D-pad, and like my brain just never connected which color which was which direction. So it was very awkward to kind of constantly be switching between them. And also, a lot of the times, it would switch for no apparent reason. So, like, there was a section where there's these spiders on the ceiling, and you kind of got to shoot them at an angle. Well, the first one would be blue, the second one would be red. And by the time I got through it, I was just like, okay, you're just swapping these every other turn, and it's not really making any sense. It's also not that hard. Like, I made it all the way to the first boss without dying. Wasn't even a problem. And then the boss doesn't really have like a good pattern to memorize. It feels like I know we use this phrase a lot, but this feels like we have Cuphead at home, and
yeah.
I don't want Cuphead at home. Like,
right,
I
feel it.
It's just not great. For review, I'm playing a game called Smurf Karts, and if I was Mario Kart, my face would be as red as a tomato. Because it literally lifts everything that Mario Kart does, from the tapping the right trigger to do the power slide, to like, the starting gun, getting the blast off. Like it feels really good. It controls really well, and the power-ups are pretty cool. It has Mario Kart AI, but like 1,000 times more aggressive. So like. Even on easy mode, you're not going to win every race. You're just not. My biggest issue with this game is that the tracks are just not that interesting. Like I wish.
So it's Mario Kart at home, is what you're telling me?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's a really good game, and if you're into the Smurfs, cool. If you're not into the Smurfs, sorry. Also, I didn't know there was 2 girl Smurfs. I thought Smurfette was still the only one. Maybe I just haven't watched the Smurfs in a long time.
That's a recent thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we're not in the Target demo anymore for the Smurf skin. So.
No, no.
And
No,
we
I'm
don't have
aware.
kids in the Target demo for the Smurfs either, so
My son has never even mentioned the Smurfs. Like
same.
throughout his entire life, he's never cared about the Smurfs. But yeah,
See, I think it's a girl thing because my girl's like she doesn't anymore. But yeah,
that's weird. Yeah, I love the Smurfs as a kid. Like
I did too.
Yeah, same.
so, but yeah, the tracks are really what's kind of boring. Like I went through the first couple cups and like I couldn't tell you one of the tracks, and that's
No.
kind of the problem. Like they all
Yeah.
kind of feel the same. And if you think back, like if your brain goes back to watching the Smurfs, you kind of remember the forest and Gargamel's area, and that's like it.
Yep.
Like there's not a lot to pull from. So,
No.
and then a couple games I started up that I've been wanting to start playing is I kicked off Bramble, which is on Game Pass, called Bramble the Mountain King. It is essentially like a Limbo / Inside style, kind of like adventure game, but it's actually full 3D. Like you can move in 3D space. It's limited. It's very like along a path, and it's got some really dark, like imagery. That's really kind of its hook, and it's told from like a fable storytelling. So like you can like there's this narrator that's constantly telling you what's happening in the story. It's really good. Like if you like Inside and Limbo, I would definitely check it out. It's on Game Pass, so definitely worth checking out. And then I also kicked off Sea of Stars, and like Terrence has said, and everybody else has said, you should play that game. It's man, the music in that game is so good.
So good.
So
Good.
I love the mechanics of the 2 characters. I'm assuming you'll get more characters eventually, but right now I just have
You
the
do.
the
Yep.
2 characters. I love that everything is like there's more to it. So like
Mm-hmm.
when you attack, you can tap the A button and it'll do an extra an attack if you time it correctly. You can block with the A button. I love the little fucking mini games with the skills. So like
Mm-hmm.
the moonerang bouncing it back and forth between the enemies is like so fun.
Yep.
Oh man, and the animation on the characters, even though it looks like Chrono Trigger, like how they shimmy along walls, and
Yep.
this game is
The animations are so sweet. Like that,
yeah,
that game is so good. Like it's in my game, and this is not to go back to Starfield. Sea of Stars is in my game of the year consideration, but Starfield is not. That but this year is just crazy
Yeah.
with games, man. Like it's so many good games out.
yeah. I'm really excited to play more of Sea of Stars. Like I'm really enjoying that game.
I'm glad. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, I think as long as it continues to hold this, it will be in my game of the year conversation. Absolutely 100%.
Nice.
And I think that's it. I did boot up the Switch and almost bought Gravity Circuit. Like I thought about it for a couple minutes, and I was like, you know what? I've got Sea of Stars, so I'm gonna go play that. So I didn't pick up Gravity Circuit.
Where's Gravity? Oh, is that the Shredder Mega Man game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it's on sale right now, so
That's another reason I thought about
Ah.
picking it up is because it was like $17. I was like, is it time? It wasn't time.
it wasn't
Wait till
time.
Black Friday. Wait till
Yeah.
Black Friday.
I'm kind of hoping eventually they port it to Xbox, and then I'll probably just pick it up. But yeah, right now I'm just like, man. And then of course
I didn't check to see how much it was on Steam.
Same price. It's
'Cause I know-
$17.
Is it? Because it was more expensive on Switch than Steam to start with.
I think I checked the prices because it's on 3 platforms. It's on PlayStation, PC, and Switch.
Okay.
PlayStation is not on sale. It's still $22.
Okay.
The Steam version was 17 something, and the Switch version was 17 something.
Gotcha.
And then I played some Overwatch, and I'm totally happy that I'm probably not going to touch that game again for a long time because football started today, so I won't be playing it today and tomorrow. And then MK is out on Thursday, I literally played 14 games Friday and Saturday night and won 2.
Jesus.
And I'm just like, you know what? At this point, this shit ain't even fun. Like, it's just so bad.
Yeah, you're just torturing yourself at this point.
Yeah. So I'm super happy that football started, Mortal Kombat's out. I just don't care. I came close to deleting, but I know better. I know better. All right. All right. Oh wow, yeah, that level is much higher.
Nice.
So, I apologize. I was using a new headset through the first half of the show, and it was very quiet. The mic was, so I swapped back to the old headset, and now I'm very loud, so I need to turn that down. But I think that's all I played. I mean, I always play Madden. That's just kind of my jam. I did revisit Jedi. I checked out the Jedi patch.
Oh yeah, how is the performance?
Fucking flawless butter.
Oh, good.
It's crazy how much better this game is now.
That game, the actual game there, I know the performance was kind of crappy, but the actual game there is tremendous, and it will be on my Game of the Year list. So that's good to hear. If you're somebody that's been holding out on that game because of the performance stuff, now sounds like might be the time to jump in because that game's really good.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like this game now runs at a buttery smooth 60 FPS in performance mode, and then if you swap it over, the 30 FPS is smooth as ice too. So they finally got it to where it needed to be. Like we said when it came out, it probably just needed to wait to come out.
Yep.
Oh, anyway, yep. I think that's it. I think that's all I played this week. I've been going back to Starfield a little bit, just to play a little bit more to see how I still feel about it. But you guys kind of covered enough of Starfield. I put my thoughts out there in review form, and I still think that I hit exactly where I wanted to be on that one. So anyway, you can tell that it's that time of year because every week Microsoft puts out this like next week on Xbox. And I scrolled through it on Friday, and it was like 30 plus games. That's
Jesus.
Xbox. So that means the Switch has like 100 games coming out this week.
Always.
Yep.
But there is a lot of stuff coming out this week. So we'll kick it off with Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5. The Crew Motorfest, which we talked about, that's out on Monday. F1 Manager 2023. Terrence, also Myth Force 1.0 is out this week. Remember that game?
Oh yeah, I actually do want that. Is it coming to Game Pass?
I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass, but I should have code this week, so keep an eye out.
Okay.
Smurfs Kart, I'm assuming that's the physical version because that came out last week. The Isle Tide Hotel, Mystic Gate, Super Bomberman R2, Ad Infinitum, which I'm mildly interested in because it's like a World War I psychological first-person shooter. So it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Heavy Duty Challenge. Mortal Kombat 1 is out on Thursday. God, I can't wait. Solar Ash. Summum Eterna. Baby Shark Sing and Swim Party. You know you're hyped for that.
Oof.
Blasphemous 2, assuming that's a physical version, because that's already out. Dreamhouse Days DX, Dungeon Village, Game Dev Story. Interesting.
Oh, what's that coming out on?
This is Xbox. So.
Oh, wow, okay. Game Dev Story's great.
Yep. Hot Spring Story, Isekai Rondo, NASCAR Arcade Rush, which I'm not going to lie, looks kind of fucking rad. It looks like a Daytona USA style game.
Nice.
Persona 5 Royale, one more edition. Station Manager and Werewolf Pinball. PlayStation 5. Just so you know how many games are coming out, I always have to click in on Switch. I've had to click on every console this week. It's crazy.
Wow.
PlayStation 5 is a lot of the same stuff, but we're also getting Eternites. Eternites?
What is Eternites?
I don't know. It's just one word. Eternights. Eternites.
a roguelike, I'm sure. Yeah.
Now we're Play With Your Food, Pixel Ripped 1995, Toho New World, AK Zalotl? I don't know.
Axolotl?
Axolotl?
Yeah, that's an animal.
Well, it's AK-XOLOTL. That's how it's spelled.
Post it in the chat.
Okay. Behind the Frame, The Finest Scenery VR. That's how it's spelled. How would you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's probably supposed to be axolotl.
Okay. I still have no idea what that is. The game that got fanboys' panties in a bunch, Inspector Gadget, the Mad Time Party, is out this week. Because remember they announced it for everything but Xbox? The Xbox guys were like, why is it coming to Xbox? I expect all y'all motherfuckers to buy it.
I was about to say that. That's why I wooed, because, everybody was, y'all better, that game better be Game of the Week in sales.
Right? And Neon White. Was that not already out on PlayStation? Am I crazy?
I thought it was.
Huh. Okay. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, pretty much the same stuff. We're getting Gravity Oddity for PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Damn, I gotta click into this.
Oh yeah, by the way, Axolotl is a game about an axolotl who has an AK-47.
Fucking okay.
So that's why it's
All right.
AK-zolotl.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So it's
Okay.
a pun. Okay.
Yes.
Xbox One, pretty much the same stuff. We're also getting a game called Ugly and Station Manager.
Okay.
Now it's time for the Switch. Your favorite one.
Oh, Lord.
We don't have Anthony here to ruin his Google search
It's
either. So
search, right?
Mr. Google search. The Adventures of Ben Rabbit Run.
okay.
Gunbrella. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, The Hidden Treasure of Area Zero Part 1, The Teal Mask. That's a lot.
Okay. That is a lot.
Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD remasters out this week. I forgot about that. City of Beats, Dyna Blaster, Enraged Red Ogre.
Okay.
Labyrinth.
Definitely not going to search for that one.
Labyrinth, starring Jennifer Connelly. No, not that one.
And David Bowie.
And David Bowie, yes. And Hoggle. Don't forget Hoggle.
What is Hoggle?
That's the troll that walks around with Jennifer Connelly in the movie.
Oh,
That
okay.
was his name.
I thought you were talking about a game called Hoggle.
Oh, no,
I was very
no.
confused for a minute.
I still remember all the
That's-
characters
it
in that
sounded
movie.
like it could have been a Peggle ripoff with pigs,
Like,
but I think they would call that
Ludo.
Piggle instead. So
I'd play Piggle. I'm not gonna lie. The fuck is that? Oh, Axolotl. Okay, so that. Yes, I would play that game.
Yeah.
I would totally play that game.
I wasn't sold until I saw that it was an axolotl with an AK-47, and then I
With-
thought, maybe I should play that.
with a baby with a pacifier on his
Yeah,
on
with
his
a
arm.
baby axolotl.
That's awesome. Lies as a starting point. Love School Days. I bet you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Mugen Soul Z. Retro Mystery Club Volume 1, The Isashima Case. Retro Revengers. Skyhook. Teosita plus Estigma. Thunder Ray. Yummy Jewels.
Ooh.
Boy, this next one doesn't even try. Anime Sexy Girl Puzzle Hentai Game History Adventure.
Oh, wow.
Nope. They was like, you know what? All the catchy titles are taken. We just going.
We're just gonna combine them all. This is like the fucking Captain Planet of hentai.
There's like-
Right.
There's at least one dude out there that owns all of these games. That's the thing that
Dude,
always
I was
throws
in-
me off about this. Like, it's never what gets me about these is never the fact that they exist and they're out there on the eShop, right? I've come to grips with that. What gets me about it always is knowing that there's someone out there buying them all.
Yes.
You're right.
And
You're absolutely
God.
right.
I was
Glad
on.
I'm glad I don't leave the house much.
I was on the eShop this weekend because I was looking for what was new because I'm like, well, I haven't bought a Switch game in a while. Thought about buying Gravity Circle. I was like, oh, I'll see what else is new. It took me 10 scrolls to get to a game that A, I'd ever heard of, and B, didn't have some anime girl with like her underwear in the title screen.
Yeah.
And I'm
That
just
sounds
like,
about right.
good Lord, Nintendo, you need to do something. Like 30XX just came out, and it was a solid 20 scrolls down.
Yeah, what happened to the Nintendo seal of quality, man? Let's get that back.
They're selling panty editions of fucking
Well,
games.
again, somebody's buying them.
They
Yep.
absolutely are, and it's terrifying.
Yes.
Another Crusade.
I'm surprised in all the years we've been doing this podcast that we've never had anybody write into us about or being angry about how dismissive we are of panty games.
They don't want you to know that they play them.
I guess, yeah.
You know, it's like those people that used to come into the store and buy those special videos. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You don't talk about that.
You don't talk about that.
Corbett, A Color Adventure. Oh, I think I already said that. Hexa Wars. League of Champions Soccer 2024. Whew, okay, how would you pronounce this? Because I'm not even going to take an attempt at it. That's a game
First
name.
of all,
That's a game
that
name.
looks like a scientific
That,
name.
it looks
for
like
something.
that looks like my cat walked across the keyboard.
Right, like what?
Quirthpeel?
You know what it looks like to
Quirthpeel?
me? It looks like a piece of a code I would send y'all for review.
100%. Yes.
Actually, yes. That's,
Quirthpeel.
I don't know what
QRTH-PHYL. I don't know why I said dash like I was from Minnesota all of a sudden.
Dash.
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 QRTH-PHYL.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Who makes this?
Piffle.
Kurthpithel. Made by a company called Varin. It says Kurthpithel is an action game developed by Hermit Games. Okay.
From here on out, I'm calling it Cursed Peehole.
Yep. Y'all playing Cursed P-hole?
Sakura MMO Extra and Super Brawl Rush. Those are your games coming out this week, but only one matters. Mortal Kombat. That's if you want to spend that's the $110 version, by the way.
Right.
Which is also
Oh,
coming to the
damn.
Switch. It's also coming to the Switch. I don't know if you saw that video I put in the chat.
I did. I saw some footage of the Switch version
Oh.
already. Ooh, it's rough.
Yeah, I mean
Oh.
if you're buying multi-platform games on the Switch at this point, like I just feel bad.
I mean,
Yeah.
this one's not coming to Xbox One and PS4, so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I got to imagine the folks that are buying Mortal Kombat 1 on the Switch are because that's what they have. That's the platform they have that it's coming to, and it's
I feel
sucks.
bad.
Yeah.
I do too, because man, it is. That's not it.
It's something like the fact that they would port it to the Switch but not port it to the Xbox One and PS4 is bananas to me.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Like at least the PS4. Like the PS4's got like 100 million systems out there or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're gonna take the time, like I thought they didn't port it just because it was only next gen, but then I see there's a Switch version. I'm like, why?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was a separate team
Why?
that did the Switch version. The same one that made, I guess they did 11. They made 11.
I mean, it's
On the
fine,
Switch.
but port it to the PS4 and Xbox One too.
Yep.
Like,
I did not play 11 on the Switch, obviously, because I'm not a masochist. Anybody play it? Anybody know if it?
I heard the
Held up.
fighting is fine, but the crypt is like a nightmare.
Okay. Yeah.
Which, by the
Yeah,
way,
I
it's
think
weird.
Anthony said that.
Yeah, Anthony said that the crypt is like terrible. It's crazy that we are like days away, and it feels like the olden times where we don't know exactly what's in this game, even with all the
we really don't know anything.
Yeah, even with all the leaks, we don't know the last character, which is crazy. Like it's exciting because like I don't want to look on Twitter because I'm like, I just want to go in and like dig through the menus and see what the shit's going on, and like
Maybe it's the boss, like the last
maybe.
characters, whoever the final call. Because I mean, I'm curious who the boss is going to be. Shinnok, maybe. We haven't seen him
Yeah,
in
I
this new
don't.
reality. And why would Liu Kang create him though?
I don't know. I'm super excited though, like because I feel like for the first time I don't know everything about the game before it's coming out.
Right.
I've purposely
Yeah.
like anytime somebody posts like a video because it did leak on Friday, like somebody has it, and like a bunch of the story cutscenes are out there. I haven't looked at one of them.
I'm proud of you.
Well, this is my jam, man. I want to experience this game. I don't want to see it in a fucking compressed Twitter video. Fuck that.
I feel it. I feel it.
Like the characters don't bother me. Like I don't care if you tell me who's in the game. Like that's fine. But the fact that I don't know the modes and shit, like what are the skins like and stuff?
Yeah, I got you. That you know about that invasion mode, right? 'Cause
I
they
know
have
the
some
name
trailers
of it,
about
but I
that.
don't know like the full detail. Like I didn't read it.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't even spoil it. I am interested in it though. That is interesting.
Yeah.
I really just want to see the story. Like I'd rather just watch somebody play it than, and I definitely am not about to spend $109 just to play it this week. Like shit, you'll love that.
Yeah, you know,
But I am.
I totally would. If I don't get a code, I totally will.
Yep. I don't even doubt it.
I'm that guy for this game. I'm that guy. I'm just saying.
I would totally would be if it was like a Marvel or something. Like I totally would be that guy. Like I feel it, man. I get it. I just not for Mortal Kombat.
All right, time for some news. Forza Motorsport previews are dropping September 11th, so that's the day you're hearing this. I saw a lot of people are playing it, including like fanboy YouTubers, and like we didn't play it, so
That's why I don't understand. That's because that's what was bugging me out. Because I thought it was going to be out like Saturday for the early release thing, but then like it told me like it let me install it finally, but it was like, nah, you can't. Servers ain't up. I'm like, what?
well,
So
Forza
why are you playing it?
for Forza.
Oh wait, no, that's something else. Never mind. I'm
Yeah, you're thinking of the
other
Crew.
motorsport game. Yeah, we got too many motorsport games. That's
We
where we are.
do
All right,
have too many motorsport, but this is Forza, which is not out till October. So
Gotcha.
yeah, I guess a bunch of like I saw some like of those, you know, those Xbox YouTube channels, like they were playing it. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't need to play.
Paris in his comfortable racing chair.
The new Xbox update for September is out. Quite a few things in here. There's stream games to Discord, variable refresh rate toggles, which is pretty cool. Xbox voice reporting. So it's a decent update.
Yeah.
New Game Pass games announced. I don't think we didn't know about any of these. Starfield, obviously, Solar Ash on the 14th, and then Lies of P on the 19th. Xbox announced their Tokyo Game Show stream will be September 21st at 6 p.m. JST, I don't know what time that is. Looks like it's going to be about 5 in the morning Eastern time.
Lord.
So it looks like there's going to be some new game announcements for Game Pass, because like that's what it always is. Sources have told The Verge that Microsoft was prototyping a cloud-focused handheld device previously. They also scrapped the plan for the dedicated cloud Game Pass tier because regulators are concerned about xCloud during the ABK acquisition. That's interesting. Todd Howard said they look forward to talking about Indiana Jones next year. Yeah, basically saying that we'll see Indiana Jones next year. And then Mega, not Lego, announced a Mega Xbox 360 building set in a 3:4 scale. Comes with like a jewel case with Halo 3 and a controller and all that shit. So you can build an Xbox 360 that is literally a brick.
I saw that was the thing that you put on there about like, is there a variant with a red light? And if they don't do that, that's just a missed opportunity.
Like if there's not some little red Megas in there, like how did Microsoft not get Lego? Like how did they not get Lego?
Right.
Like what the heck?
Lego will do anything. Like why would
Well,
they...
doesn't Microsoft already have an existing relationship with Mega? Because didn't Mega do all the Halo sets.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think you're right. That might be what it is. But it doesn't help the optics of like Microsoft not actually being like in the conversation of video games when they can't even get Lego to make their fucking system. It's got to be Mega.
Yeah.
Like that's the kid you made fun of in school because he didn't have Legos. He had fucking Mega Blocks, man.
Mega Blocks.
All right, Nintendo Switch online games for September 6th. We got Kirby Star Stacker for the Super Nintendo, The Quest for Camelot for the Game Boy, which is a weird fucking pull. Downtown Neketsu March, Super Awesome Field Day for the NES, and Joy Mech Fight for the NES. That's a lineup of games. I'll say that.
That is, yeah.
Nintendo announced 4 new Switch bundles coming October 6th. This is kind of like a tradition. Like, there's going to be a Mario Kart one, yada, yada, yada. Probably Tears of the Kingdom, all that shit. There was a video about Charles Martinet no longer voicing Mario that was like 3 minutes of just weird.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it.
There's nothing in that video that tells you anything that you couldn't have gleaned from a 5-word tweet.
Gotcha.
Like, literally, there was nothing. That video was nothing. It's weird, man. I don't know why he's... And they won't tell us who's voicing Mario now? Like, it's some kind of big fucking secret?
It is a secret, actually.
He's also the Mario ambassador, and he has no idea what it is.
I did see that. I saw that somebody had asked him, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not sure what what the job is."
It's probably like when you're on a sports team and you get injured and they still got to pay you. Like, his voice is so iconic that they just got to pay him, but they don't want him to do it anymore or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird. I'm sad Anthony's not here because, according to VGC and Eurogamer, Nintendo was showing the Switch successor off to devs at Gamescom behind closed doors, running the Matrix Awakens UE5 demo as well as Breath of the Wild at a higher frame rate and resolution.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. What do we got here? Numbers. Spyro Reignited Trilogy sold 10 million copies globally, and y'all motherfuckers don't know about Spyro.
Right?
Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster has surpassed 3 million. Sea of Stars has sold 250,000 in its first week, which is crazy.
Good for them.
Starfield had over 1 million concurrents on all platforms combined and has surpassed 6 million players, making it the biggest Bethesda launch to date. Oh, Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis has surpassed 2 million downloads. Mortal Shell sold 1 million copies. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night sold 2 million copies. They also announced Classic Mode 2 and new premium DLC costumes, and a multiplayer mode coming from Way Forward. Sumo Group has acquired mobile game developer Midoki, and Atari has acquired Atari-centric news and fan site Atari Age. Release dates. EA Sports WRC is launching November 3rd. Company of Heroes Collection coming to Nintendo Switch this fall. Little Gator Game is coming to Xbox One/PS4. It's already out on Switch and PC. The first 2 Game Center CX games are getting a remaster for Nintendo Switch. What we talked about earlier, the 5 Kairosoft games are coming to Xbox One and Windows on September 15th, including Station Manager, Hot Spring Story, Game Dev Story, Dungeon Village, and Dream House Days DX. They're already out on everything else. EA Sports UFC is coming October 27th, only next gen. Gargoyles Remastered got a release date October 19th, coming to everything. Super stoked for that.
It looks so good. Yeah, that cartoon's so good.
That video game is really good. Keith David doing the voice. It's good shit. Super Adventure Hand coming September 21st for Switch and PC. Slay the Princess coming October 20th. Free the Chant, the Gloom Below DLC launches September 12th. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem game announced for PC and consoles, launching in 2024. This is the Game Mill one, right? Or is that?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Japanese Rural Life Adventure coming to Apple Arcade on September 15th. And our first delay of the big games of fall, Alone in the Dark reboot delayed to January 16th, 2024. It's a light news week. That's
Yeah.
It is.
That's all I got, other than there's some dude on Twitter leaking the Nintendo Direct. That's supposed to be
Because
happening
why not?
this week. There's some stuff in there. Rumored F-Zero, Mario versus DK. Although I hear the F-Zero thing is F-Zero 99. Because,
Yeah.
That's
I'd love that.
exactly.
That's the best one.
You know what 99 is, right? It's that battle royale that they keep making.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Wait, there's a F-Zero Battle Royale?
There's a battle royale for, like, do you not know about the 99 series, Terrence?
I do not know.
So,
I do not know.
Nintendo's doing 99 series. They did Tetris, they did Mario. What else did they do? Like,
Oh, wait, I do remember the Mario one. I didn't know
yeah,
it was a Tetris one. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think there was another one, but I can't remember what it was.
yeah, I swear there was another one. But yeah, it's basically like a battle royale where there's 99 players and then they go down to one. And if the first time
Pac-Man.
Yeah,
Remember
Pac-Man. Pac-Man. Yeah, you're right.
Man, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So if F-Zero comes back in that format for the first time since, God, when was the last F-Zero game? GBA was the last one?
Yep.
Like, fuck you, Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be happy just to have something new in the series, but yeah, it's bullshit if that's what it ends up being.
Ugh, that would make me so mad. Just, how hard is it to port GX, man? Like, really?
Yeah.
That game's already widescreen. It's already 60 frames a second running on the GameCube. Just fucking do it,
Yep.
man. I'm gonna check the inbox again, but I didn't see any earlier. Nope. No emails. You have one tweet. It's a quiet week, man. A lot of people just chilling. Jeremy tweets in and says, I had a good question, but forgot, so I'll just hush about Everspace 2. Really loving my time with it. I think he meant to say gush. Really loving my time with it. Just over 50 hours so far. Got a big old ship with combat drones and blowing up everything. The story and voice work is really good. Looking forward to the next 50 hours.
Yeah, Everspace is pretty solid. That's
another game that came out that we just stopped talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I haven't gone back to it because, I've been playing Starfield, but it definitely, I mean, it was a different type of game, so it doesn't let you fly like that, but it does, the combat and stuff is, I would say it's better than it is in Starfield. But I do like that one. I'll have to go back to Everspace.
I enjoyed what I played of it, and I, like everything else, I just never got back to it.
Yeah, it's because there's so much stuff.
There's too much.
Stuff this year. Yeah, like you sit down and you're like, all right, I got like 45 minutes. I'm gonna play. Oh God, what am I gonna play? There's like 15 different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, jeez.
Yep.
Until Ryan talked about it earlier, I had forgotten Jedi Survivor came out this year.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Excellent
Wow.
game.
I actually did too because I haven't played it. I'm waiting for the EA Play for it to drop there, which I guess I thought it was gonna happen early fall, but I guess it'll probably end up being like November or something.
Well, it sold a bunch, so I'm assuming that's
Yeah, it
why
did.
it didn't go in there. It seems to be like if the game stops selling, then it goes in there. So
Yeah. Well, actually, it may not be this year then, because I'm sure they'll probably discount it for Black Friday.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
They just pick it up
Yeah.
then.
that's
It'll
going to be my
probably be
guess. My guess is that game goes into EA Play. I know you're not going to like what I say here, but my guess is February.
I could see that.
That's my guess. Also, there was that rumor that came out right before we started the show that they're porting Gotham Knights to the Switch.
Okay.
Right. Which, bruh, because that's, they ain't focused on that 60 frames per second for the consoles. They wanted to get that stable 20 for Switch. That's why we haven't heard
20?
from those developers.
20? Really?
Oh, sorry. 12. We'll give them 12.
I was gonna say
12
12 is
straight.
more likely. Like, I don't know, man. That game had problems hitting 30 on a Series X PS5.
Man.
You really think it's gonna pull it off on the Switch?
No, it'd be about 12. Like, that's just, I don't know why because that game is not bad. That's another one that came out. That's not a bad game.
That was last year. You're fine. That was not
Okay,
2023. You're fine.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, like you gotta don't start bringing 2022's late games in because we already got too much in 2023.
We got too many. Right. You're right. You sure right.
Like I can't do any more of 2022's games, which is crazy because in 2 weeks is the 1-year anniversary of Overwatch 2.
Oh my God! Has it been out a year already? Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Like the latest patch, they're like the anniversary event starts on the 19th of September. I was like, oh shit, it has been out a year. Ah! I don't know, man. Video games are wild right now, and I don't even care.
They are.
Because fucking Mortal Kombat's out this week. That's it. All that matters.
Yeah. October's gonna be a bloodbath.
So let me pull up. I'm gonna do a quick search because I want to know October 23 game.
Yep.
release.
So you got Mirage on the what is that now? The 5th.
Yeah, because
It got moved up. Right. You've got Spider-Man and Super Mario Wonder on the 20th.
Yep.
There's a couple other things. Alan Wake, right, is
All right.
October.
I got a
October.
So Warhammer 40k Darktide coming to Xbox October 4th. Assassin's Creed Mirage October 5th. Detective Pikachu October 6th. Forza Motorsport October 10th. Lords of the Fallen October 13th. Sonic
How about
Superstars
that?
October 17th.
Jesus.
Yeah, Marvel Spider-Man October 20th. And Mario Wonder same day. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection October 24th. Ghost Runner
Still going.
Ghost Runner 2 October 26th. Alan Wake 2 October 27th. Yeah, there's more here, but those are the ones that are like, damn.
That's just insane. Because you know what? The next season of Diablo is in, if anybody's still playing it, is in
No.
October. That wild card football. That game looks so much fun. I'm actually excited for that one. That's in October too. Jesus Christ. Yeah, October is about to be insane.
Which is wild because I look at
imagine going back to play Diablo now.
Yeah.
Right?
There's too
either.
much other shit to play.
Too much. Like, nah, Diablo had his chance. It blew his shot. So we moving on.
Yeah. I feel that way about Street Fighter too. I'm like, there's a new character coming out September 27th. I'm like,
Bruh.
but Mortal Kombat will be out. I don't care.
I was installing stuff on this Xbox, and I went to the S's, and I was like, damn, Street Fighter did just come out, didn't it? I forgot all about that. I'll be back on that when they drop my boy next year. That's when I'll go back to Street Fighter when they finally release Akuma.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I haven't even touched Armored Core yet. Like I didn't even pick it up yet. Like that game came out.
That's good.
Yeah.
I haven't gone back to it yet because there's other stuff, and now I'm like playing the review stuff that I can't. There's so much. This year is just insane, man. There's literally, if you can't find one game this year that you just like are in love with and it's just for you, something is wrong. There's literally something in every genre this year that's like a banger.
I don't understand how we can have a year this good, and it feels like the discourse around video games, at least on Twitter, is just straight fucking
Negative.
misery, man.
It's not just video games. It's everything.
Like, how can people?
Everything is so toxic.
Well, it's like we're living in what we dreamed of as kids. Of like, we've got fucking Star Wars television shows, we've got Marvel television shows, we've got full on, multi-$100 million movies about the characters we love.
Yep.
And all we can do is fucking just take big old shits on them.
I mean, listen, pro wrestling's in the same boat right now because we've got a legit competitor and all people do is bitch. So it's everything. The discourse on everything anymore is just toxic as hell.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It's worse than it's
Right.
been.
Why? I don't
I
like why. Why do you want to be miserable?
understand it.
I will never
Because
understand it.
I was gonna say because it's fun, but it's not. Like I don't get it. Like it makes no sense. That's what I'm saying. Like there's just so much stuff. Like if you can't find something to make you happy, and you gotta head to Twix and like bitch out and make a video where your head explodes about somebody picking a gender or something. That's what the fuck, man.
Then
Like
my
what are you doing?
dude, I saw somebody tweeted me the other day that somebody was in somebody held a 5-hour spaces about arguing about video games. I'm like, what?
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
I think so. I think I have this pet theory that what happened is early in the life cycle of the internet, people started being toxic because they thought it was funny, and so they were ironically toxic, and they were trolls ironically. And then there's this whole generation of people that came up and saw all that behavior and didn't realize half of it was for show, and thought that that's just how you're supposed to behave.
I mean, it
I
feels
can
like
see that. Yeah, it does because it's just the norm now. And I look at that stuff and I'm like, why though? Like you literally took the time. Like, okay, I guess. Couldn't be me. It's just too much.
I can't even fathom
Nah.
it. Like I just can't. Like it's like when you guys give me a hard time because you think I like every movie. I'm like, nah, I just don't hate every movie. Like,
Yeah. I think the other thing about it is the less free time I have when I'm older, the less I care to be that involved in online discussion about stuff that I
Same.
enjoy. Like,
Yep.
I don't need that sort of arguing and proving that what I like is good. Like, I don't need that in my life anymore.
yeah,
Well,
like
see,
who cares?
and even that, right? Even that has changed because when we were kids or when we were younger, or this age where these niggas acting foolish, we were on forums and different stuff, and it was a place to celebrate and talk about the different stuff that you love, right? Not say, oh, this is superior to this because of this, that, the third. Like, I mean, you have the extra trolls, like you said, that's doing that stuff just because. But
Yeah.
like, that's where you went. You went to those places to talk about the, comic books or D&D or movies, all the different chat rooms and forums and that they had in video games. And now, I could care less. Like, no, I don't know when the last time I've looked at like a forum or something like that, unless I'm specifically looking for something. Like I'm not just going there just to, oh, let me see what's up, say what's up to the fellas or whatever. Like,
Yeah. We've decided in the last 2 decades that everything is tribal.
yep,
And so there's only 2 options for everything. And everything you either love or you think is the worst thing that's ever existed. And there's no middle ground at all.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, I don't. The only thing.
There's no what it is people talk about anonymity on the internet and what that's provided for people and why people act the way they act, and that's a part of it. But really, it's the inability for subtlety to come through in text that's created as much of a problem as anything. Because nothing's subtle anymore. You're not allowed to have a subtle criticism or a subtle opinion on anything. Because subtlety and sarcasm don't come through well in text. So we just decided that nobody's allowed to be subtle anymore.
yep.
And it's toxic.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Shame.
I don't get it.
It is.
I don't get it. The only thing that pertains to is Shenmue. I'm just gonna get that in before we get out of here.
Why?
Because I have to.
And
I'm on brand. I have to
Damn.
stay on
Because he
brand.
knows he and I are on a binary as it relates to Shenmue. So
Yeah,
gotcha. Just throw that out there.
it's the only universal consistent. It's just
yeah.
it's got to be there. But anyway, it's a short show, which is nice because the news was light. Not a lot of tweets or emails. I'll check the box one more time before we get out of here, but I don't think it's it. Nope, nothing came in. So it's cool. It's, video games. It's about to get wild, and we're about to have some really cool conversations between September and October about a lot of really cool games. I'm looking forward to playing.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to shoot us a tweet or a Twix, as we like to call it, you can send them to ZTGD Podcasts on Twitter. If you want to shoot us an email, please do that. podcasts@ztgd.com. Phoenix Down, we got word Drew lost his saves on Resident Evil, but managed to get him back. So he finished Resident Evil 4, so that episode will hopefully be up this Friday. Other than that, enjoy your gaming, as The Rock would say.
Yeah.
Dwayne Johnson, enjoy your gaming.
Oh, what a dork.
What a dork. That's fucking funny. I know Anthony's not here this week, so
How do you feed blood to Grandpa?
he's got to get him in there at least
Love
one
it.
time. But that's it for the show this week.
When you actually are getting like wood and stuff, like you can come off the ship.
God dang it.
Nobody has anything else, so get out of here. Peace, Patrons.
Alrighty. And it goes something like this.